Okay, we got to talk. We got to talk about life partnerships versus marriage. We've all seen the stories of Jada and Alsina and Will Smith, some little bizarre love triangle they got going on. I don't know about that. And as a Christian man, as a Bible teacher, I'm instructed to stay out of the world's business. So in a general sense, I really couldn't care less. But because of the influence that Will and Jada possess, and how they're claiming that this is some type of spiritual thing, they're influencing the Christian consciousness. And as a Bible teacher, again, as I said, as a Bible teacher, I feel responsible. I feel obligated to speak on this and give you a biblical view of marriage and how it is completely, it goes against life partnerships. I don't even know where that came from. Like, seriously. So in this video, we got to talk. We got to talk about life partnerships. We got to talk about what the Bible says about marriage, how it flies in the face of life partnerships. This whole notion is nonsense. So stick around to the end of this video. I got a few clips actually I want to discuss, expound on. So stick around to the end of this video. Let's go. So first and foremost, man, let me just say it. I was a big Will Smith fan. Will Smith is a phenomenal actor, clean cut guy, always carried himself with dignity and class, and I admired that. And Jada, she's a very, phenomenal actress. She's done well for herself. So it was very bizarre when I found out about this whole love triangle. It really caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that. I knew that Will and Jada had some wonky lifestyle behaviors, but this was just caught me totally by surprise. So I'm not surprised, because I really get surprised by actors and actresses living in Hollywood, the things they do. Doesn't surprise me, but since I admired Will Smith and I had respect for Jada, I was a little caught off guard by this. But I want to talk about this whole idea of life partnerships. But first I want to talk about modernism versus postmodernism. See, modernism is this idea of us having truth and certainty and things being scientifically proven and assessed. That was modernism. But in the 21st century, right, we're in the post-modern age. Now, postmodernism is the complete opposite. It's diametrically opposed from modernism. So postmodernism is uncertainty, skepticism. We question everything, right? Question everything. And that's what I feel this life partnership paradigm is. It questions, it challenges biblical traditional view of marriage. It challenges the framework, the ideology of it, the concept of it. It just challenges it all. You see, marriage it's one of the oldest institutions in human history. It goes all the way back to the very beginning of time. When God made Adam and Eve, he joined them together. Let me read a Bible verse from Genesis 2. It says in Genesis 2 verse 23 and 24, says, "At last the man exclaimed, 'This one is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, and she will be called woman, because she was taken from man.' This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife. A man shall leave his father and mother, and he's joined to his wife," not his partner, not his confidant, not his companion, his wife, right? And the two are united into one. They're united into one. They become one. Life partnership challenges it goes against this paradigm. And the reason why I absolutely know this is true, because the New Testament, Jesus Christ, he powerfully reinforced this in the New Testament. In Matthew chapter 19, verses 4 through 6, Jesus says, he says, haven't you read the scriptures? They record that from the beginning God made them male and female. And he said, this explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife. He's quoting it word for word. And the two are united as one. Since they are no longer two but one, let no one split apart what God has joined together. So marriage is permanent. It's meant to be permanent, a permanent union between one man and one woman under God. That is the biblical view of marriage, the traditional view of marriage since the beginning of time, the modernistic view of marriage. But here's what happens. When you maintain that traditional framework, that viewpoint of marriage, it comes with responsibility. It comes with accountability, roles that a woman and a man should carry out. Like, for example, the role of a husband is to protect, to provide for his family, to cover his wife, right? Cover her with his love, his heart. And the role of the wife, her responsibility is to maintain the home, the children. You know, she can work if she decides to, but her primary responsibility is to be a loving wife, to be a, dare I say, a submissive wife. It comes with roles and responsibilities. But what about life partnerships, right? You see, life partnership is the post-modern challenge to biblical marriage. Life partnership is, for my estimation, it's an agreement that a man and a woman makes. It's very ambiguous, right? It can be married, unmarried, you can be same sex, opposite sex, you can be a monogamous relationship, you can be in a polyamorous, which is where the husband and the wife, they both have other spouses, you know, within the quote unquote agreement or life partnership. It's nonsense. It's detrimental, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to practice something like this. And that's why, as a Bible teacher, I need to expound on this. And I want to talk about this. I want to discuss some of these clips that I'm about to show you from Will and Jada on their show, Red Table Talk. And I want to talk about some of the things that they said straight out of their mouths that goes right with what I'm talking about. How life partnership is a deviation from biblical marriage. It's a detraction from what God said as the two becoming one. Let nothing split them apart. It's a deviation from that. It's very dangerous. Let's look at some of these clips.
The public wants you to be a certain way. Your family needs you in a certain way. Your partner needs you to be something, you know. And for me, that just was never, you know, I'm really a free spirit at heart. I really am. And I always have been. And I just felt like my life had got constricted into this little box. And it was strangling me, basically, you know.
Here we see Jada redefining the role, the responsibility of a wife. She's saying that she feels like those expectations, those responsibilities make her feel like she's in a box, right? She's in a box. That is post-modernistic language, the redefining, the restructuring of established biblical roles. And they have influence, massive influence on millions of people. This is a dangerous idea to redefine, just arbitrarily redefine the role of a wife. So let's look at the next clip.
We don't even call ourselves married anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's a life partnership
Yeah.
in the sense that we've created a foundation together that we know is for this lifetime.
For this lifetime, we
You
have
know.
devoted ourselves to each other.
In a spiritual sense.
In a spiritual sense.
So they redefine, what they call marriage. They call it life partnership. They don't even call themselves a married couple, right? They're redefining post-modernistic language. They're redefining. They've changed the rules, right? They changed it because they don't want to be under the expectation. They don't want to be under those rules. They want their own desires. They want to. So they're framing. They're creating their own idealistic marriage to suit their own lifestyles. And then we hear the word spiritual. Spirit, this vague, ambiguous term, which means absolutely nothing because it's never been defined, never been explained. Let's keep watching.
That's what I needed to gain, was the courage and the bravery to do what Jada needed to do to be happy, and that was to dissolve everything that was and create something completely different.
That last clip was pretty telling. Their marriage is, according to Jada, self-dissolved. They dissolved their marriage. The Bible says that let no person split apart what God joins together. Whether you're saved or unsaved, if you are married, you are participating in a biblical institution. And when you arbitrarily dissolve it, right, to create something, whatever you want, something new, you're arbitrarily mishandling what God so carefully crafted for man and woman. You cannot have healthy families. You can't have these types of relationships in the regular world. They're impossible to maintain, number one. You will see poverty, broken homes, dysfunction skyrocket even more than it already is. It's also rebellion toward God. It's a complete, utter deviation from what God established since the beginning of time. It's just a utter slap in God's face to entertain these subjective, relativistic life partnerships. It's post-modernistic. It's not of God. It's not sustainable. It's not reproducible. It's not something God ordains. So life partnerships are not good. This situation is not good. As we see, Alsina is completely destroyed by this. I know Jada denied all of the claims, so this is all alleged, right? But we got to use common sense and wisdom. I don't know if he's lying or not, but there's plenty of pictures out there showing them two together, all cuddled up and booed up, and I see a lot of evidence that he's telling the truth. But regardless, these are not healthy relationships, and this is not sustainable. This is not good. As Christians, we need to condemn this nonsense and dissuade any of our friends, any Christians who are supporting Will and Jada. We have to cut them off. It's time to cut them off. It's over. It's done. This is unacceptable. So appreciate you watching the video to the end. Subscribe, like this channel. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.